finding your identity. Well, this is going to come like a shocker, but finding your identity is kind of the point of creating something. In the photo that you see like right here in the background, we were in the Torngat Mountains, and it was for a 20-day hike, one of the most grueling, crazy, and wrecking hike that I've ever been through. It took us an eternity to reach that little lake. And it wasn't even a lake, it was more a pond. It was something that we just found by chance while we were rolling through the hills, where we were just like going from one side or the other, small little rivers. It was an incredible feeling of freedom. You have 8 hours a day to hike for over 20 days hiking. It was an incredible experience in the Torngat Mountains of Labrador. There were 2 Inuit guides that helped us with everything that they possibly could. They taught us how to find the berries, which water to drink. We started to make little fires, and they'd always have a tea in the morning, a tea in the afternoon, and a tea right before going to bed. It was something that gave you like the warmth of something different, a slower lifestyle. What I noticed is that by the time I would wake up, I would have a coffee in my hand with a 90-degree angle arm with this big plastic paper cup, rushing to work and already going through tens, if not 20, 30, 40 emails, replying, doing all my tasks for websites or designing, and days melt one into the other. Nights become very, very long, to the point that you don't even recognize what is the difference between one day and the other. Here in the Torngat, it was something completely different. I found something that is more profound, a deeper meaning of life. You wake up in the morning, and there is no task to do except for cleaning up your tent, wrapping it up, getting ready for a whole new day of hiking. This was tough, but a good tough, something that makes you feel that you've accomplished something with every step. The land right under your feet would change dramatically, from incredibly sharp rocks, almost if you were going through the lands of Mordor, to something very soft. It was a beautiful feeling. I felt that there was something magical going through all these different patches of grass, rock, rivers, and small ponds. But we needed to find our identity in this trip, and it was hard. The Inuit guides found, right on the top of a hill, a small little shelter that they lost long ago. And they were always wondering if their elders passed here, and now they had the proof. These big, huge boulders, built as a square in order to protect themselves from the harsh weathers that in Newfoundland and Labrador are a fairly common thing, was an incredible experience. It was something that nurtured your soul. You would understand that right there were tribes that were hunters. They were exchange pelts. There was an entire community that would rely on those stones, knowing that if they're passing by, they would have to know where to go next. While in sunlight, you can see for hundreds of kilometers. When there's a storm or fog, you can't see from meters in front of you. Inukshuks were their signs to show the way. There is a community here. Come, you will be safe. And it was that feeling of those boulders that would create this kind of small little cave to protect, maybe just to resist a little bit longer, to hang in there, just until the next ray of sun will come. That pond of water and that blue, blue sky was just before the sun would completely go away. We were about 7 days in the trek We didn't have a chance to shower. We didn't have a chance to just relax. And that little pond, no matter how cold that water was, it was the most inviting thing ever. And I really hate cold. It's just something that I can't deal with. My body can't deal with. Nothing can deal with. So finding that pond in that moment gave us something that was much deeper. Our two Inuit guides really felt that that was a moment of importance for them. Finding their roots and knowing that we were on the path and we found proof of it brought their spirits back a little bit, knowing that yes, there were their elders that passed on this same path, and we found it just by chance. Finding who we are is important in the same way today, but it's much more complex. We have to find it in whatever we publish, in who we are. And social media, whether a lot of people hate it, and there's a love and hate even on my end, there's a part of me that loves it. And I'm trying very hard not to consider the viewers, the very few viewers that I have, as a number. And I don't want to be bottled into an AI duplication of work. My work has to be original. Perfectly imperfect, exactly how perfectly imperfect I am. My work has to speak for itself, with all its imperfections. This photo is not made from a prompt. This photo is the result of something so deep. After days and days of hiking, sweating, being eaten alive by all sorts of insects, eating very bad bagged food, flash frozen, and being with people that would give everything to you without even asking. The sense of community, the sense of love, the sense of being part of something bigger. We are out in the wild, way above the tree line. There is nothing there for us except for landscapes that literally will take your breath away. The heavy burden of our backpacks and our gear, all of a sudden, it just goes away the moment you take them off and you make a little fire and you get ready for your next meal. A few laughs and just the view is worth everything you've been going through for the entire day. Whether one beam of light would hit you and make you sweat, wanting just to dump everything on the floor and just go with a t-shirt and enjoy the breeze, and just a second later you would have the coldest of the winds making you chill right down to the bone. Every step would be extremely heavy with those incredible weights. Getting the footage was tough. No freedom to move with these enormous backpacks. No freedom to do much because you can't really go away with the risk of wolves and bears. So we always had to be together. We always had to follow one in the footsteps of the other. And somehow you find yourself in that rhythmic movement, in those steps that almost mimic your heartbeat. It's one step in front of the other for days and days. And the landscapes moves very slowly. It's a feeling that I wish I had the words to tell. I wish I had the power to say what I felt. This pond was the last water from a glacier that melted. And just swimming in this water, knowing that the Inuit passed from here, that this incredible historic point was found, made this photo something that is unique. And these memories I will cherish forever. This is Æternum Mentis. I am Sergio, and welcome to my life.